to a category that I feel is sellouts that a lot of people don't even talk about at all. And I would go as far as saying even the criminals, people who are going out there and basically.
After a few seconds, the cop just pulled his gun out and just shot him 7 times, dead.
School is not designed for people to get ahead. They don't want people to get ahead.
They have cartoons that were restarted, some characters to make them homosexual.
The Power
Man,
Exchange.
What's going on, bro?
Man, we up on the Power Exchange today. And today, man, we've been talking about selling out, man. Like the whole Deion Sanders situation, with him going to Colorado, leaving Jackson State. We got plenty of more examples of selling out. So we're just gonna start with that one because that's the most relevant we got going on right now. So with that being said, I just want to ask y'all boys, what's considered selling out to y'all, man?
Well, for the sake of context, I actually don't know what's going on as far as that.
Okay.
Deion Sanders. Oh yeah, can you explain the situation?
Yeah. So real for the most part, Deion went. He coached football, right? He coached football at Jackson State at HBCU for 2 years. The previous 2 years, and last year he was offered a job at a PWI at Colorado, and he took it. Of course, the whole black community, not everybody, but a lot of the black community kind of considered him a sellout for leaving the HBCU, going to the predominantly white institution, and taking his talents and his spotlight to that instead of building up the HBCU and in that division. So that's pretty much that sums it up in a short term, and that's pretty much
Well,
it.
I think it depends in that kind of situation. As far as Deion Sanders, has he particularly taken a vocal stance on like pro-black activism or anything like that?
I ain't gonna say necessarily activism. I'm gonna say, he just being. I mean, really, he just doing him, man. Like, but it's just like when he brought his light to the HBCU, it brought a lot of attention to the HBCUs. He got a number one recruit to go join them, so it was like, okay, he finna get ready. We just pretty much assumed that he was gonna try to build up the HBCU community, not knowing,
That's my issue with our people though, right here though. You know what I'm saying? Because it's one of those situations where I feel like we put race into it, where it could have just been about football. Obviously, he's a black man. He's a legend. And he came to the black schools first. You know what I'm saying? But instead of us being thankful, it's like, you got to stay here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Obviously, him going to the predominantly white school, there was some money involved. Whereas money is the motivation for almost every person. So you're going to tell this man not to get a bigger check. You know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, it's just like, I mean, what do we want? What do people really want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's selling out. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's like you said, but it's that sounds like a case of him just doing him, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's like
we put unnecessary expectations on these guys, man. Like they still human beings at the end of the day. Like
he still wants his success. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like, let's take another situation where I would consider it a sellout. Look at the founders of BLM, Black Lives Matter.
Right.
What they do after they got all their money. They took all their money and they went to hang out with a bunch of white people in a town that's less than 2% black. But what were they all about? Talking about black empowerment, all this and that. That's selling out. But like a guy he went to HBCU. Maybe that's just where he wanted to start off.
Right.
But if he's not vocally taking up that moniker of, being pro-black for the community, I wouldn't put that on him. He probably just started off there. Somebody offered him a better opportunity, more money probably, and he wants to take it. I don't see anything wrong with that. And that goes for anybody. You see your success, somebody gives you opportunity, take it. Deion Sanders wasn't being treated fairly at all where he was at.
Oh, at Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he dealt with a lot. Yeah, he dealt with a whole lot. He dealt with
Yeah,
a whole lot, man.
yeah, like they weren't paying him right, and like the director there was really disrespectful towards him and stuff. So I mean, I think
That's
that
the side that the media don't tell you.
yeah, yeah. So I
I
think
would
that
never do
that
that.
goes even further into him not being a sellout. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's literally making a better move for himself.
Yeah, you can't expect him to oh, and there was other stuff she was saying too about like people were stealing his stuff.
Yeah, they got robbed and everything down there, bro. Like it was a lot that went on, but they were saying like, as far as him getting paid, that they were saying like that he knew what he was getting into, but eventually, you know what I'm saying? They gotta try to make a way to pay this man
They
something
got
if
robbed.
you want him to stay.
Yeah,
If you
like
really
yeah,
want him
my
to
girl was telling me how like he was basically getting robbed. Like
I bet you he wasn't robbed by some white kids.
no, it was black kids. It was black kids. I was like,
Yeah,
The white man made him do it. The man made him do it, bro.
yeah, man.
yeah,
Yeah, it was a lot behind that though, man.
yeah. She made a point which I agree with. Is like you can't like when we get something really well, like especially the black community, we get something really good like that. We mess it up over dumb stuff. Like
Yeah, we don't really hold on to it. And then
yeah,
when they leave, it's well, you know what I'm saying, it's their fault. You know what I'm saying? So we don't
yeah,
ever.
Bro, that changes the entire situation, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's like, stay here and deal with this bullshit. Damn,
Like,
why would you leave us?
at
How
least
could
y'all,
you leave us?
y'all could do is not steal my stuff. Like I
I
mean,
want
it
to
ain't
add
too
something else
bad.
to that, too. I want to add something else to that. It goes into also that whole entitlement thing with our people. It's
Hmm.
like, you can't be respected in our community unless you do something for us. Remember when people was cheering about Obama? They was like, he didn't do nothing for black people. Well, his
Yeah.
job was to run the country. His job don't have
Right.
nothing to do with
Yeah.
black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just happened to be black. You see what I'm saying? Like, but
Yeah.
it's that whole thing of like, oh, you owe us something, or what you gonna do for us?
What got people messed up was okay. When he went to his HBCU, I think everybody was thinking, okay, we finna build up the HBCU because we're gonna get him in here. He swayed the number one recruit, so it was like, all right, now we got to start to something. So now we're gonna bring in another coach to go to another HBCU, maybe get some more recruits and start building up the brand of HBCUs with football and all that. But then he left 2 years later, so I think it just shocked a lot of people. Just speaking on, I guess, behalf of some of the people that think he sold out. And I
I
know
think
it. You
they're
know what I'm
going to the
saying?
extreme though, bro. I
Yeah,
think
I
they
mean,
take
it,
it
it
to the
is it
extreme.
is
Like,
too much.
yeah, like what you really expect? Like, so I put it like this. I had learned recently that the guy who played was it Apollo Creed? He used to play football, right?
Yeah, yeah, he
He
did.
played for John Madden. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
think I talked about that with somebody before. John Madden is a legend. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Every football game, the games that we play is Madden. You know what I'm saying? And so imagine if before he got his legendary status, he was a black man and he wanted to coach at HBCU. And it was like, nah, that don't leave, don't go over there, which can make you bigger because Sanders is a legend. You know what I'm saying? And this could boost who he is, his exposure, really showcase his coaching skills because, black people are known for being good at sports. If he can
Right.
make these predominantly white schools better at sports or change an area where they're better, because, are the HBCUs hurting right now as far as sports, or are we doing good? Because, I don't
I
know.
feel like they hurting. I guess financially, a lot of them are. A lot of them I heard begging for money and stuff like that.
Mm,
But okay, my thing is instead of criticizing him and killing him, why can't we, as black people, we can keep continuing to support the HBCUs without him being there? Why it take somebody
right.
like him being there for us to
Or why
even?
we can't just support his career,
Right.
support him as a person. If it's all about black people or whatever, you can't see that he's clearly making a move to improve his life and his career. Let's just
Yeah.
support him just because. You know what I'm saying? But it's always a contingent. Like, it's always like, what is he doing for us? What is he doing for black people type shit? And I feel like it's a crab in the bucket mentality for me, man.
That's exactly what it is. It's like we have to we have to stop looking at what everybody else can do for us and start looking at what you can do for yourself. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like sure, you know, a lot of people feel like Black people need to stick together, whatever. Hey, at the end of the day, even other communities, they have a sense of individualism too. Like at the end of the day, they're gonna stick for themselves, especially when they have families. They're gonna do what they need to do for themselves and their families. Black people need to do the same thing, and there's plenty of Black people that do that. But for some reason, when it comes to a prominent Black person out there, we're looking at them, expecting them to pave the way for the rest of the community. No, they got theirs. They put in the work and they got theirs. Now it's your turn to do the same thing.
But we feel
You may
like
not
we're
have to
owed
be as
something.
successful, but do something.
And then at the same time, like, what
we necessarily, my bad, I mean cut you off, but we necessarily didn't have to follow him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he did his thing, but we could have kept supporting the HBCUs and giving money into the, you know, to that community. And
Yeah, he's just one man.
watching. Go ahead.
Right, it's just one
He's
man.
just one man.
Right. No, exactly. One man.
Yeah. If somebody cares that much, they can go out there and take up the mantle.
Back to the selling out part. I think as Black people, I think anytime you get successful, you consider the sellout in a sense. Because think about everybody who gets successful, what they do. They move out the Black neighborhood. Is that selling out or is that bettering yourself? You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's what they think of is when we move.
I thought the goal was to get out the hood.
Yeah. And the thing is, people, and I hear it all the time, like Black people saying, like, one of their goals is to get out of the hood.
It's a double standard, bro.
But the rest of the community, they'll look at them, like a sellout. Actually, I remember it was an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air about the idea of sellouts, in particular. I think Carlton, he was trying to get into club. Yeah, and I think Will, he ended up trying to help him out. And when it came down to it, they didn't want him, basically because even though he was a Black man, but he was very smart, he was successful, he was moving up, he was doing really well. They didn't want him, and pretty much, and they called him a sellout. Yeah. But that's a prime example right there. Perfect. Like, whenever we have Blacks that are smart, they focus on academics, do all of that stuff. The rest of the community, we looking at, oh, well, you're doing what white people do. Like, no, you're doing what an upstanding, you're doing what an upstanding citizen does. Like, there's no such thing as talking white this and that, and walking and dressing white. No, like, you're walking, talking, and dressing like an average.
That's back to that crab in the bucket mentality, bro. Because if you move that type of way, you get judged. And then if you succeed for moving that type of way, the first thing they're gonna say is, "Oh, but what did he do for us? What did he do for Black people?" I feel like this is a question that needs to be asked to the community. If someone makes it out of the hood or someone becomes successful, do they owe something to the community? And I don't think so. Because what did the community do for you?
In most cases,
to that point. So, would I give back? Yeah, I would give back into my community like a lot of people do.
That's your choice. That's your choice. You know what I'm saying?
We're not obligated to do that. You're not obligated to give back to that.
Right. We always look for a handout. We always think somebody owe us something.
Yeah, maybe community as, like, you know, if you grew up in a really close-knit, tight neighborhood,
right,
and you know pretty much everybody there, y'all were really close, and you moved out, but you know they're in everybody in neighborhoods, it's in a rough situation, and you become so successful, like maybe like a millionaire, and you want to go back and you want to give to that neighborhood. I don't see anything wrong with that, but you have a personal closeness with that neighborhood. That's your community, but nobody's obligated like you said, you're not obligated to do that. And secondly, why do you have to extend your olive branch to the rest of the Black community? Like, they didn't do anything for you. You may feel like that community held you up and supported you, and especially when you moved out, they didn't treat you like that. They didn't treat you like an outcast. They supported you, and that may make you want to go back and give back something and help them out. But like, Black people can't expect, oh, this guy, he got out there and he got his own, and get mad at him and expect to criticize him and he turn around and do something for everybody. Like, no, it don't work like that. You can't insult somebody into doing something nice. It's not
Right, right. I learned something else recently, bro, and I think that everybody needs to know this. You're not a part of someone else's plan. When it comes to success and when it comes to life or goals, you're not a part of that person in anyone else's plan, unless it's your significant other. You know what I mean? Or unless like you're in a group. You know what I'm saying? And y'all make these plans together. You're usually not a part of these someone else's plans. But people have the expectation that you will or should come back and save them, come help them, carry them. You know what I'm saying? And this is the type of stuff that hold us back.
1911 by Booker T. Washington. There is a class of colored people who make a business of keeping the troubles, the wrongs, and the hardships of the Negro race before the public. Having learned that they are able to make a living out of their troubles, they have grown into the settled habit of advertising their wrongs, partly because they want sympathy and partly because it pays. Some of these people do not want the Negro to lose his grievances because they do not want to lose their jobs. As I said before, I believe it's a lot of prominent Blacks that we have out there that fit this description precisely. And a lot of them are on the news. Like I've mentioned for Joy Reid, Don Lemon, Van Jones, Al Sharpton, to an extent, yeah, even Jesse Jackson. A lot of them, they literally make careers, especially on they're on the news. Like Black people want to talk about sellouts. You know, part of that definition is they feel like some Black peoples get paid to betray their community.
Yeah.
Well, why are we not looking at them they're literally getting paid by white people to come out and peddle and parrot lies to their own community, without batting an eye? That's literally what they do. They get on CNN and all these other news networks, and they just get paid to say lies, to gaslight us, manipulate us, and all of that. And you like Don Lemon, I thought he was a good case because he had moments in his career that showed he didn't really believe the stuff that he was saying. He really didn't. I know it was two prominent moments. One was a moment he was interviewing Morgan Freeman. I know this went viral a few times. And they were talking about race, and something that Don Lemon said is that he's kind of tired of talking about it. But he's talking about it because them white guys that are giving him his paycheck are telling him to talk about it. And they're giving him a certain narrative to talk about. Another big moment that went viral was when, I think it was like 2012 or 2013, somewhere around there. He did a segment piggybacking off of a segment I think Bill O'Reilly did, talking about the problems with the Black community. And Bill O'Reilly, he got a lot of backlash off of what he's saying. But Don Lemon actually came to his defense, saying that no, he's right. Not only is he right, but he didn't go far enough. And he listed 5 particular things about the Black community that we need to basically change. You know, right. I don't remember every single point, but it was stuff like cleaning up our community, keeping our communities clean, stop sagging your pants, stuff like that an average Black person actually would agree with.
Yeah.
But when he was doing that, he was basically going off script. But aside from those moments, yeah, like the most of the time he spent his career just gaslighting us and telling lies, all the cable news network lies that he's paid to say. But we don't look at them, the Black community doesn't look at them as sellouts. We run to them for information. But they're lying to us.
They're the ones that's really selling out, man.
They are
literally.
They are the definition of what we consider sellouts. But the majority of the community runs to them for all of our information and our truth. And we wonder why nothing gets done, because we're listening to people that are just outright getting paid to lie to us in our face. But then we see other Blacks, they have their own opinion and they're going out and they're making things of their own. We look at them and call them sellouts.
I asked the question to Discord. What does selling out mean to you? BK, I don't know if you got to see any of this.
No.
All right, so first person responds. I think selling out is going against your own personal beliefs or morals for the bag.
I could agree with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that's why I would say that what BK said about Deion Sanders was true. If he wasn't a person who was advocating for black people and black
Right.
rights and community and this, that, and the third, then he didn't sell out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? He just loved football.
Yeah.
He just happened to be black, which people are using against him.
Right.
uh, Someone said a selfish prophet that disregard a moral compass. I agree with that too. Because even if it's it says your own beliefs or morals. Yeah, people have their own beliefs and their own morals, but then a lot of times, they do what they got to do just to get ahead. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like they say, people be sacrificing people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The whole, that's the whole the whole acting business and celebrity
Yeah.
business. They all sell out or sell their soul to get successful or whatever like that.
Or do something devious to sabotage somebody else so they can get a
Right.
position or a role.
Yeah.
Say I agree with this. Said someone else, for personal gain, doesn't have to be for money. A lot of dudes do this for the PUSS. All right. That's true though.
That's true. Yeah, that's very, very true.
I know everybody that had the homeboy that and I always say that I bring this up. It's the homeboy that act different around women.
Yeah, he
You
turned
know what I'm
up.
saying? Like
You
we
got
get
locked up
around
on him.
girls and he want a Jones. Like
He want
what's wrong with
he
you?
want
Like,
John. He want to pull his $200 in ones out his pocket.
yeah, like bro, what's up with you, bro? Like,
Yeah. Hey, I get money. Yeah.
yeah, like bro, let wrestle.
Oh boy, they something else.
Let's see. Let's see. Someone else said, well, they said that more or less sums it up. I think if it's at the expense of those who may have supported you as well,
Yeah.
though I suppose expense varies. So this one, I get what he's saying, but I'm gonna have to disagree because just because, and this is we're using Deion Sanders as the example. Just because black people supported you doesn't mean that you owe them your loyalty. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Now he's not necessarily doing anything to harm the black people. You know what I'm saying? He's just bettering himself. You know what I'm saying? But that's where people would accuse you for being a sellout because they're holding you to a certain standard. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
they're saying like, he's doing it for us. We got a black man in there instead of saying we have a good coach. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think there's, like they said, at another person's expense. Like I think that's the line right there. Like let's take Deion Sanders again. If he just moved and went somewhere else, but nobody else is affected, no, I'm not going to tell him he's selling out. Now, if he did something, let's say he like broke a contract or something and really screwed somebody over to do it, all right, now he's moving into that lines of selling out, regardless of the reason. Because if you're not hurting anybody by doing it, then I'm not going to consider you a sellout. You found an
That's the thing,
opportunity.
though. It was considered that a lot of the boys that went to Jackson State, it hurt them, on a personal level, I guess, because he was
Because they going there to be coached by
to
him.
be coached by him, and then he left. So
So they just taking it personal, basically.
Yeah, that's just taking it personal.
Yeah.
So it's.
I mean, I get it.
You get what I'm saying?
Because
I get where it roots
football
from.
is their career and it's finna be their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're purposely making that move to tailor their life around I'm coached by Deion Sanders, which probably gets them looked at better for getting to the league at the same time. But his life matters as well.
Yeah, that's just bad timing.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's life, man. Like that's life.
That's rough. That's rough. That's not on him though.
Yeah, that's just terrible timing.
The same person follows up with, I can understand looking out for oneself and maybe some sacrifices, for lack of a better word. But I think if you're actively betraying or contributing to the downfall of someone, could be considered selling out.
Oh,
But I
certainly.
don't think selling out is inherently wrong either. People do have to look after their livelihood and such. I treat everything on a case by case basis. And so once again, we're using Deion Sanders as a example. That's true. Like someone else would say it's selling out, but he says you have to look out for your own livelihood as well. So even though on this end it looks like selling out to other people, he's just looking out for himself. And he said
Also,
he's not actively betraying or contributing to the downfall, but from those guys' perspective who went to that school, they're gonna probably feel like if they don't make it to the league, they're gonna say, "Man, I had a plan and be coached by
yeah,
Deion Sanders, and this man left the school, bro. He ruined my career." You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, if they
he
care
could be
that much
giving
about
them
him,
an
then
excuse.
that's not an excuse. If that's really their passion to make it,
Yeah,
then
they'll make it
their
without,
favorite football
whatever.
player
Yeah,
leaving where he's at, that
yeah,
shouldn't stop them. It shouldn't. If they're that passionate about it,
yeah,
then like I said, that was it's just bad timing. He didn't do that to he didn't do that on a personal level to them. They may take it personally, but I mean that's
but see,
sometimes
this
life
is
hits you
another
like
thing
that.
too, and it gets to a bigger situation with me, and this is why I purposely wanted to let my son explore other things in the world because there are other ways to be successful
mm-hmm.
besides sports and music. And so here are the statistics. Roughly speaking, there are 1,083,308 high school football players competing. Eventually, 251 of them made it to pro. After simple calculation, we can get that the percentage of student athletes going pro is 0.023%. This is not a uncommon, like everybody knows that it's, you know what I'm saying, the
Right,
chances
everybody
of
knows
making
it's a
it.
slam
Yeah.
chance to make it. Yeah,
And
we
even
all
with football, basketball, you can get an injury, ACL or something that just
yeah.
ruins your career. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the fact
That's
that that's
We
like the
got
number one
we
focus in
gotta
our
instill
community.
more than sports and music upon our
Exactly.
kids, man.
yeah,
Like it's
we gotta
okay to go
go
be a doctor.
to we
It's
gotta go to
okay, yeah.
academics.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
okay to be
and
smart. It's okay to be a lawyer. It's okay to be a doctor. It's okay to be
but
an
see,
engineer.
and I'm
You know
I'm
what I'm
glad we're
saying?
on this because this is a very huge issue. I say this is one of the biggest
I
issues
agree.
in
Strongly
the
agree.
Black community, and it starts with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I believe, this is a conversation that a lot of Black people don't want to have because all of that it starts in elementary school. That's where it starts. I see it. I've seen it all the time, and I've met plenty of Black people who went through the same thing. What happens is that when Black kids they go to school, they may have every intention in the world to do well in class, and they might be doing well. It might be a straight A, B student. What happens is they get around another group of Black kids
Mm-hmm.
who aren't being taught that well,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and they start getting bullied
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because they're doing
'Cause
so
they
well
smart. Yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
school. They start getting called white. They start getting treated like an outcast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kids do this to themselves in school, starting all the way in elementary school. But we overlook that. We act like that's not even happening. But that's where it happens. And then that
But
same kid
it's because of
who,
the parents. It's
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
because
it's
it's
that
the
the
parents.
parents raising
Yeah,
these kids are 25 years old or 30
the
years
kids
old,
themselves
and they
too.
think they're still
Uh,
yeah.
particularly about how I think somebody said um, selfish profit at the expense of others,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
expense of the community. Um, I think I want to go into a category that I feel is sellouts that a lot of people don't even talk about at all. And I would go as far as saying even the criminals, people who are going out there and basically,
Sabotaging the community.
huh?
Sabotaging the community.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Um,
I
drug
agree.
drug dealers, thefts, all of that, murders. I say
scammers.
no.
Yeah,
I put
Yeah.
them in the category of sellouts as well, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's actually a better definition of a sellout because you are causing direct harm
Right.
to the youth in your community and to
Yeah.
your community in general, and literally doing it for personal gain. Literally,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's oh man,
I think
that's
what I think.
that hasn't been brought up. My bad.
Yeah, I think what we consider selling out ain't even really selling out. You know what I'm
In
saying?
a
The
lot of
stuff that
cases,
we
no.
really look at as selling out, it's not even really selling out. We don't even think about the stuff that's really selling out, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good point, but I think that a lot of stuff around our community, and then we're gonna have to get into the stop snitching thing too. Is shit to hold us back as a community. So that whole selling out thing is just something to hold us back, to keep us in
Yeah.
a parameter, just like the stop snitching thing.
So like it's still crazy though. Like our mindset though. If we seen something, if most of us we seen something happen, and what we'll say, oh, that ain't none of my business. I go, you know what I'm saying? I go,
Yes.
yeah. So it's like,
And that's why I don't like the whole, they go back to the Black Lives Matter shit, bro. People be
yeah,
lying. Like people be like, oh, you know, this and that is wrong, that's wrong. But you will stand there and watch them get killed. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why I always like Tupac from when he shot that cop, bro. Like, he had the balls to do something. The cop was in the wrong, and Tupac won that case. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But the average person would not do anything.
Nah, he stood on what he did, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So I respect him just because of that. You know what I'm saying? Some people are not bigger than their words.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They just bark and no bite. You know what I'm saying? They won't
Yeah.
take action. It says, I think morals and people are subject to change. Like we should always be learning or growing. I don't think a change of perspective counts as selling out. Maybe it does, but I feel like it isn't wrong. The world isn't black and white. Though I understand for some people, there are some things they can never budge on.
Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. Because a lot of times if somebody try to change their ways, you know, somebody can consider that a negative thing, or you know, just say like, say I came into some money and I changed how I move. Somebody might consider, you know, oh, you selling out, you changing, bro. Like you ain't. Of
Or
course,
they
I'm like
say
that.
you forget where you come from.
Yeah, like that. So I get what he's saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think it's more of, is there a sense of betrayal there? Like
Yeah,
if you're intentionally trying to betray um, people that you were connected with, um, then I think that what will determine if you're being a sellout or not. Simply just having a change of morals or values or a change of mind of some change of heart. Nah, that's not, that simply doesn't make you a sellout. Like you said, you could come into some money, but now that because I mean that's a reality. You start earning a certain amount of money, you got to start moving differently.
got to.
You just have to. So,
Yeah,
but that doesn't mean. But if you start moving differently, but you're not really affecting anybody else, no, that
right.
absolutely does not mean you're a sellout. Like, no.
But see, people don't respect that. They don't respect growth in our community. So in any type of change, they're gonna say, you know, you think you're better than us, you forgot where you come from, you selling out. It's all types of labels that come with that. And that type of mentality is literally the crabs in the bucket mentality, and it's holding us back. It's not helping us.
I think those people are very insecure and they're
Yeah,
projecting when they say stuff like that, because they're saying that they try to put that on you because they already believe it themselves.
right.
They already
Then
believe
they don't want you
themselves
to
that,
grow and move away because then you can't help them.
yeah, they
They can't
already
be
believe themselves that they're not good enough. They can't go out there and make it on their own. But you
Yeah,
just show that you can do it.
you can, but
And they're just offended by that. So
that.
they're just insecure with themselves.
yeah, and there's a lot of envy and jealousy with that too.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
That shit is rampant. Let's see. I think you're branded as a sellout, and it's more or less someone telling you, quote, what I think you should stand on, you didn't. You sacrificed my outlook on you for faster gains, and I think you are a sellout because of that. It's all semantics though. And that I strongly agree with that. A lot of times people will get labeled as a sellout because someone feels like they have a certain belief and they thought that you share that belief, or they want you to believe what they believe, and they brand you a sellout because you didn't move the way they thought you should. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
right.
Let's see, selling out often has a negative connotation, and it doesn't always have one. Well, I think that's where the definition changes, because you got to decide, is it selling out or is it growth? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Is it
Yeah.
progress? If it's growth and progress, if it's moving on from a certain mindset and a certain way of living, then it's not selling out. That changes the definition completely.
And
And that's kind of,
what about situations where sometimes you just got to do what you got to do?
yeah.
Like I'm sure there are situations that they may have to make a decision that they don't actually want to make.
Right.
I'm sure it is situations like that. You
Oh,
may
yes,
have
plenty.
to, yeah, you may have to do something, like you may have to do some level of act of betrayal. Maybe you're doing it in duress. Maybe you're doing it, if you don't take this opportunity, you'll
Yeah,
never get it again.
it could be a job. Yeah, it can be something to do for a job or promotion or, whatever you got going on.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's definitely it's a lot of nuance to it. It's definitely a lot of, it's not black and white for sure.
And kind of like what he was saying was like, you know how people got considered selling out. Just say if you was a black guy and you voted for Trump at that time, a lot of people consider them guys sellouts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is,
that's
yeah,
a good example. It's like, okay, so you have blacks that think differently. Just because they think differently, you're going to
yeah,
consider them a sellout.
Being a sellout is usually synonymous with being more successful. So naturally, anyone who wants to do better for themselves will become one. And people who say otherwise are either selfish fans or self-righteous artists. So a part of that I get, it's synonymous with being more successful. Yeah.
So what do you mean
Every
by artists? Like he mean like musicians, you think, or
when the
I personally would put that in there. Because honestly, I would even, to add another category in it, I would look at our musicians,
yeah,
as far as like what a sellout is, because I get what that person is saying. Just because you're successful doesn't mean you're a sellout, but people will perceive you as that. I think that just goes on. You can never make anybody, and you
yeah,
can't
like
make everybody happy.
yeah,
You
I think majority popular musicians are sellouts
absolutely,
because
because
they're
look at
making
the
music
music
to
that they make.
sell only. Yeah, that's why when people keep telling me, like, I keep seeing the post, hip hop is dead. I want to do a whole video on this. I'm big in music. They saying hip hop is dead. It's not. There are plenty of good artists out here. Y'all just not listening to them or buying their music. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as when Eminem first started rapping and he was doing the Christian positive shit and they shitted on him. So he started coming with the fuck my
and,
mama, blah, blah, blah. And then he was attention.
and that's not what they promote. They don't promote the Kendrick Lamar's, the J. Cole's. They promote the drill artists. That's what you hear. That's what you.
Well, that's kind of our own fault, though. That's like,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, the market is determined by the customers. We're the customers. If that's the music that we listen to, of course they're going to promote that because that's what we're responding to.
right.
Typically, we respond to negativity, but if we shift our morals and start responding to more positive types of music, the market is not going to have any choice but to shift and change what they're promoting if they want to make money. All we
Right.
have to do is just stop listening to all that negative degeneracy, and they're not making money anymore.
Yeah.
I think that also, I just thought of this actually. I think that adds another point of nuance as far as the whole sellout conversation, because all right, we look at these people, what they're promoting, we can consider them sellouts because of what they're promoting. They're promoting a toxic culture onto their community that is hurting us.
Yep.
At the same time, though, at the same time, we're buying them. We're buying these people as sellouts, but the only reason they made it to where they are is because of us consumers in the
We
first
supported
place.
it.
So are they selling out? Or are we selling out by buying their product in the first place? Because they're not there without us.
That's a tough question.
And,
We need to
but
post that and see what kind of feedback we get.
yeah,
and,
but
and I agree
that's
with you. I feel like that does make us sellouts.
yeah, because
And I
that's
think,
particularly why, like, I'm a strong like advocate of like practicing what I preach. Because like I said, you've been in my car, all the music that I've listened to. That's pretty much
yeah,
all I listen to. I don't listen to. You're not gonna catch. I don't even know like new artists and stuff. I don't know them. I don't know them at all. Like my girlfriend be dogging me out sometimes because I don't know this person or that person because I don't listen to them. I don't follow them.
So I'm glad you said that and you brought it up because that's something about myself that I take very personal. So a lot of times people say, "Oh, you never heard?" I'm gonna say it like this: Kendrick album, J. Cole album. You never seen this movie and stuff like this. So I purposely avoid certain things that affect our community because, and this is my whole theory. If you know you did an experiment before, you had, let's say you have 3 different beings. If you do the exact same thing to them, they will react the exact same way.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why you think differently and the reason why I think differently is because of our influence and our stimulus. You see what I'm saying? So I purposely avoid these things because I was an artist, I was a rapper, so I don't want to listen to the same music that everybody else is listening to because then I'll say the same things, I'll have the same lingo, I'll pick up. Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
The same mindset and all that.
Exactly, and this is why I avoid certain things that I know our community is going to take in on a very large scale because I don't want to think the same. A lot of people don't have the context to understand the decision people make that would quantify them being a sellout.
Well, at that point, you just mind your own business. Then.
Right.
Yeah.
If you don't, if you see something happening, but you don't understand the full context, like
leave it alone.
At that point, you need to suspend your belief on what's going on and just move about your business. That's all that is.
I responded to one of the comments. I said, it's subjective because do you care what people think or are you standing on your own beliefs? Sometimes the masses may think a person is a sellout based on general beliefs, and sometimes the person themselves may feel they were blinded by a goal and embarrassed about what they did to obtain it and feel like they sold out. So I'm speaking on a case where you may look back and be like ashamed, like, damn, I can't believe I fucking did this. You know what I'm saying?
But ain't nothing wrong with that. We all human at
like
the end of the day, bro. Like, you gonna make decisions you ain't proud of all the time. Like,
it's doing what you gotta do. Like like he was saying, I agree. That's sometimes just a part of being an adult. Sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride and say, shit. You know what I mean?
I was in a tight spot. Whatever the situation was.
Yeah.
In a tight spot. I had to make this decision.
Actually, I think that's why, like a lot, especially people who are so focused on, the people who are the first ones to call other people a sellout. I think them in particular, they at most need to learn how to just mind their own business and get their own stuff. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's not something that really matters. Oh. It's like, okay, you think that person is a sellout. Okay, so what if he is? so what? Well, what you gonna do? What are any of us gonna do? Right. Like, let's be real here. So what if he is? Let's say 100% he sold out the whole community to get to where he's at. What are you gonna do about it? Ain't nothing you can do about it.
I agree, bro. These people with this mindset are the same people who be like, "Fuck that job," you know. But it goes full circle. Everything we talking about finna go back to this because your kids see you saying that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your kids see you saying, man, fuck them people, or talking behind your boss back, having no type of loyalty, or saying, I ain't working on the holiday. Fuck them. They got me fucked up. And then you make an excuse, you call out. When your kids watch you be a piece of shit or be lazy, disloyal, and then you wonder why they're picking up those same habits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
and then they grow up and start doing the same things, and then you like, where'd you learn how to do that? You.
Yeah, that's where they learn. They right. Where their kids learn how to lie. They watch you lie the whole time.
They watch you lie all the time. Right. And then in the same breath, we say we want to start a business. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God!
You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't even be
selling out.
You want to start a business? Like, come on, bro.
Businesses and selling out. Yeah. What they say? Support Black-owned businesses.
Right.
They're not selling nothing I want.
Or
I don't want no more fucking shirts. I don't want no $70 shirts.
Or $200 shoes.
Like,
taxing, bro.
they don't have no new ideas. Like, every time somebody opens a business, it's shirts. Like, nigga.
And actually,
Right.
opening a business, that's another good point because, you'll see somebody that open a business in the Black community, and let's say they're growing though, and they get to a point where they can actually expand. If he expands outside of the community, oh, he's a sellout
Oh,
now.
he's selling out. Yeah, that's true. That is very true, man.
Absolutely.
That is very true. Like my pops, man, my pops got a catering business, and he was trying to stay within the community, but they don't want to pay his prices. But he can go over here to these Caucasian folks, and they don't care. They're not asking.
That's important too, bro.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is very important. So the whole business side of the shit is messed up because you got people like, so your dad, he giving a service where you have to sell your stuff at a premium price because people are gonna respect your prices. But then you have businesses on the opposite side who are selling T-shirts for $80. You see what I'm saying? So that's where it gets messed up because people are like, oh, support Black businesses. Food is expensive. You know what I'm saying? And then you paying for a service, you're paying for convenience. So, and it's catering. So I understand that. You see what I'm saying? Versus a T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Because clothing is something so big in our community. Why would I pay you for a T-shirt and you literally just printed an image on it?
Right. With a $5
you see what I'm saying?
shirt.
Like, what's
what
really,
I'm saying? $5 or $10 shirt, and you charging me $60 for it is outrageous.
I feel more like a sellout for shopping with you because I'm just doing it to support Black businesses. Is that racist? You said I'm literally just giving you my hard-earned money because you're Black. That's stupid to me. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like, it's like both sides of the fence. Like, they were like, shop with me, support Black businesses. How much your shirt? $2,000. God. Like, they like, come on, brother. One, you know what I'm saying?
They'll hold that over your head.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they use it against us, and I feel like that shit is predatory on our community.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Besides the shirts, soap, Black soap, what else we selling? Music. We got kids peddling water, candy.
Yeah, they got a lot of skincare now. Skincare products? Hair. They selling hair now. Wigs.
Because so you can buy the hair on Alibaba. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like,
it's crazy, bro. Just like the water boys, people's like, man, them young boys out there trying to build themselves. Why'd I buy the water from you for $1 and the 24 case is $3? Go to school. Go to school. Like, what? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then they was doing stuff like attacking people, throwing water at people's cars. Like, it's like, man, we can't have nothing. All right, let me move on. I think the individual who sells someone out or sells out their morals or beliefs knows when they themselves are a sellout. They are a sellout because they, were hypocritical when it came down to crunch time and went against their morals or beliefs or against a person they were originally allied with. Friendships grow apart. So I'm gonna disagree with that one. It don't mean that y'all are enemies now. You know what I'm saying? Just gotta move on.
We just
I don't think that's being a sellout. You know what I'm saying? Because if we sticking to the point of what's for the better of you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we gotta just keep that in mind when we look at a person. When we say, is this person a sellout? Is he doing what's best for him? Then no.
Right, and leave it and let it go at that point.
Let's see. I think this can be, this is in response to what the guy just said. I think this can be true, but this sounds like a projection or something. If someone is adamant on, I don't smoke weed ever, and they're vehemently against it, but a drug dealer is like, endorse my product publicly, and here's a bag. I imagine most people would consider this selling out. But I mean, people lie all the time. If someone is going to lie for their livelihood, is it that big a deal? What y'all think about that response?
Okay. That is very interesting.
I'm in between.
I think it's like that quote says, every man has his price.
Yeah.
I think most people, put them in the right situation, they'll go against their beliefs.
Yeah.
They absolutely will. Especially if they're given, especially when it comes to money, resource in general, like take somebody who's struggled their whole life and give them an offer where, hey, you're financially set for the rest of your life
If
and
you do
possibly
this,
even your future generations. All you got to do is this one thing
okay.
that is against what you believe in. You just got to do it one time. I
So
think
that's what
98% of people will
so
do
you
it.
think everybody got a price? You think everybody has a price for something there?
yeah, I do.
I,
I mean, some people, it depends on the situation they're in. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, and how bad they're willing to risk it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I think that's where robbery starts. That's where drug dealing starts. That's where prostitution starts, because they get to a point where they're just like, I just need to get ahead.
Desperation, bro.
I'll just do this for a quick buck. And then if they ever in that situation again, they know that they can do that again. You see what I'm saying?
And it's like that. It's like that classic meme question. You know, like nobody wants to go and punch their mom, but would you do it for $1 million?
$1 million.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mom. I had to hit you with that thing we were talking.
Tell my mama, like, look, we finna be straight.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
We're gonna be all right. It ain't gonna hurt.
I'm sure she gonna be down with it. Just brace yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's just stuff like I think everybody has a price. Just
Yeah.
I mean, I think the one nuance of it is like take somebody who's already successful, and they probably don't have a price. Like they'll probably say no all the way because they're already set. Get somebody who's already set, they're probably the exceptions. They probably actually are the exceptions.
Unless they're greedy. Unless they're greedy.
Yeah, unless
you know what I mean?
you still got a lot of them that.
So instead of saying everybody got a price, I guess we need to say everybody got a breaking point before they do something to sell out. You know what I'm saying?
That's even more true. Yeah,
even somebody with some money.
That's even more true. Yeah, because some people breaking point is nothing.
Right. But so like say if the guy got some money, man, and he lose it all, ain't no telling what he might do to get back on that level, or you know what I'm saying?
Right. So I'm that way. My breaking point is very low, but what I do is I just get more jobs. So I done had 4 jobs at once a couple times. You know what I'm saying? It's just because whenever I think like my expenses are too much, I just start applying for jobs. That's my panic. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just like, oh fuck, I need another job. Like, I need more money. You know what I'm saying? But some people, like we were saying, like they like, oh, I'm finna go steal, I'm finna go rob, I'm finna do fraud. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's just because it's a quick, and it, you know what I mean? Shit, can we blame it on the government? Can we blame it on the economy?
I won't go that far because there's plenty of people who are in the same situation but still make it out legit. Like you don't have to be a burden on somebody else's life just because your life sucks.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't do that.
All right, let me get back over here. I don't believe someone could call you a sellout if they don't know your beliefs and morals. I mean, they can, but they would have nothing to base it off of. I think that can be true, but 2 things can be true at any given time. I also think people make the decision they can when it makes more sense because the decisions they want to make aren't tangible or too far off. I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might want to be a stand-up citizen. As BK was saying, you don't have to put somebody else not in danger, but you don't have to put harm in someone else's way. But sometimes these people see something that's quick and easy, and they go for it.
And they need it, and they go for
it.
Yeah. So Zentoyer, I'm gonna give him a real shout out. SG Zentoyer said, like, I would be a sellout if Casanet or whatever came to me and was like, I'm gonna blow your stream up and constantly give you viewers, but you gotta drop Auroura. I'm being a sellout.
That's clearly, but that's what we said.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
That's clearly what we just said, bro.
That's a great example. He's bettering himself,
but he
would have to sacrifice his friend to get there. Is that selling out?
We need a new word, bro. I don't like selling. We need a new word, man, because In that case, I think everybody got a little sellout in them.
Absolutely. 100.
You
I
gotta
believe
do what you gotta
100%.
Yeah,
do.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
100% of people have a hint of sellout in them.
Everybody.
So yeah, R.I.P. Aurora on that one. I mean, because I don't even know if his friend would even blame him for dropping him, because if that's a real friend, he just want to see you do better. And if you know that was the contingency, like if that's what you had to do to make it, I'm sure he'll probably support you.
Yeah, absolutely. Like a real friend would. Like I know that's how I think about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's like even the situation that I'm in now. Like I recently got laid off my job, but looking at it from their perspective, I understand why they did it. I know it was nothing personal, and it absolutely wasn't. It had to be. It was a business decision that had to be made, and unfortunately, I was one of the unlucky ones. I totally get that, and it's no hard feelings from them, from me, either way. But in personal situations, like if somebody did me dirty and they explained to me why they did it, like, all right, I get it. I get
If
it.
it makes sense, it makes sense. And then I agree. So a lot of times people end up calling other people sellouts, like I was saying, because they can't use them no more. But a real friend, you see what I'm saying? They're gonna understand why you did what you did, or they'll probably just ask you, bro, why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, people get labeled sellouts because people are mad because they can't benefit from you anymore. Let's see.
But I still think like if I started something with somebody, I probably would want to see it end with who I started with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me personally in that situation.
Yeah. You said what? Say one more time.
No, I'm saying like in that situation, if I started something with somebody, I would want to see the end with who I started it with. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree, but see, this is what I'm saying. It's about the bigger picture. You see what I'm saying? So let's say we doing this podcast, and I say DJ Academics sent me an email, and he said the podcast will blow up. We'll make $1 million a week residual, but you got to drop Bud.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you. I gotta call.
We gotta have a conversation.
You know what I'm saying? But see,
and I'll be like, man,
you probably understand. And see, with this situation with them, the way they do it is what matters. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how you do things. Now, if that was to happen, and then I just start doing the podcast by myself, that's selling out. You see what I'm saying? But if I call you and I'm just like, bro, we're gonna have to just change your name to Spud, and we're gonna you know what I'm saying? Like that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to make this shit work. Or I have you.
Or give me a minute. I'm like, give me a minute. Let me get this going. I'm gonna come back.
And then I'll re-crank it up once I get it right. You see what I'm saying? Now that's what he could do in that situation with speaking of Zentoyer. Like he can get there, get all the followers, get big. He can still have, like, I can still say, all right, but since they want me to be the face, you can do all the social media shit. You can run the IG. You can blah blah blah. You see what I'm saying? Like it's still ways to make the shit work in that specific situation. But yeah, selling out is if you get that call from Casanet.
I don't hear from you no more. Yeah. Where my boy go?
Yeah. He's like, oh, bro, and you finally catch up with him. Like, bro, what happened, bro? I thought we were streaming together. He's like, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Then I look on you. Look, man, this nigga don't laugh.
You know, I changed the logo. Hey, what's going on? All right, let's see. What else we got? Okay, I said this is the issue with every topic. Some would say this is small, it doesn't count. Some would say it's selling out. Where's the line? Everyone changes what is and what isn't with all topics, just like the snitching conversation. All right, so we already done talked about that. Let's see. He said, I hate the idea that people change their definition of something to fit their agenda. Like, it's cool to sell out, but don't call it something else. And I mean, we just said that. People, it's going to be different for everybody. All right, so Aurora responded, I mean, I think it's selling out whether it's viewed negatively or not. I don't agree with moving the goalpost. By definition, or at least my definition, it's selling out. I just think there are times when it's acceptable and times when I might judge or look at someone differently for it. And I agree. You should move the goalposts. But then again, we should decide as a community to just remove selling out from our vocabulary.
I agree. It's like I said before, like I think ultimately what would help us the most is for us to stop worrying so much about what
other people.
everybody else is doing. Like just get out there and get your own bag. Like stop worrying, because at the end of the day, as much as we're trying to preach all of this, Black community need to stay together and whatnot, realistically, every single person in the Black community on an individual level is watching out for themselves.
Yeah,
at the end of the day. The same goes for any other race of people. Everybody, like if things were to hit the fan, we have like World War III or a Civil War out there. At the end of the day, I bet you everybody out there is going to be every man for himself.
Looking for
The only people they're going to be looking out for are their own families.
Yeah.
Everybody else, stay in your home.
That's human nature, bro. We naturally selfish. You know what I'm saying? Just not even trying to be. That's just human nature, bro.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, we got to be real about it. Stop lying. Stop being fake. And then at the end of the day, we got so much shit like this is holding us back. Selling out, Uncle Tom's. You know what I'm saying? So many terms that are negative. You know what I'm saying?
Against ourselves.
Right. Exactly. And so I've said this a lot too. If you go through social media, you'll see a bunch of posts by our people that are making fun of our people. You know what I'm saying? Someone in our community, a celebrity, a friend, a video of just somebody random. I have friends of different races, and I rarely see them do that, of people in their races. Like, I don't ever see Hispanic friends just making fun of Anuel, or, you know what I'm saying, somebody Hispanic. I don't know. Is it just something about our people? You know what I'm saying? Like,
culture, bro. It's just
bro,
like,
it really is.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like the Joning culture. You know, we always, cracking on each other, whatever. That's just that's just a culture, man, that we done set.
Right. Oh, I was right. So about the Castanet thing, Aurora did say I wouldn't even be mad at you for doing that.
You can't be realistic.
But that's a real friend, though.
Yeah.
He just wants the best. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you own nigga. I'm amped up because you made it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's a real friend. All right. I feel like this whole conversation becomes different when talking about corporations, and I'm not entirely sure why I feel that way. And I think I asked this person to elaborate. Yeah, I did. I said elab. And let's see, where's the response? A corporation that makes a product but then starts making a far more profitable product that alienates their previous base is by definition a sellout as well. Man, that's every fast food restaurant. That's every business.
The biggest sellout in our business wise or corporation wise is a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think
that person is right. I think that person is right in the sense that the conversation is kind of different when you're talking about businesses versus just personal relationships. Because when it comes to a business, it's in their best interest to leave personal emotions out of their decisions. If they want to continue to grow, like, their bottom line is always, what's the profit margin? Yeah. That's what they have to do. So, like, trying to compare them to just like friendly relationships with you and your bro, like, the conversation absolutely does change.
The conversation changes definitely because people are so ignorant to the point where they'll have a personal relationship with a company or loyalty to a company and not realize, or like, how can you be as ignorant to think that this company is not doing this for profit? You know what I mean? Like, even though on their website they have, we love the people, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have a mission statement. No, it's about profit. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, like you were saying, that was a good example with the pharmaceuticals. Like, our medical system in America sells pain relief. They don't sell a cure. You know what I'm saying? They don't fix the problem. They sell mitigation. Yeah. So, I got a headache. All right, take Tylenol. You won't feel it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not solving the reason. You know what I'm saying? Now you just popping Tylenol every day. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my ankle hurt.
Or they give you something that mess up something else, and so now you got to go buy something else. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, so yeah, I strongly agree with that one. Then, like I said, with the fast food, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you go to places and they selling you putty burgers and stuff like this, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So,
The
but like
food is
you said,
another big thing. Like
yeah.
the country selling us out with food, but that's
But
another
like you
topic
said
for
though,
another
it's
day.
business. So
Yeah,
you can't get your feelings hurt.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And on
But
But
top
like
of
I said,
that,
that's every corporation. Like BK said, that's every corporation.
yeah,
If
and
it's one
on top
corporate,
of that, I think is I think another reality that people need to understand is that especially when it comes to businesses is at the end of the day, the power lies with us, the consumer. It's like, yes, they can pitch their sales, promote this and that all day. But if we aren't going out and spending money on that product, it doesn't matter what they say, doesn't matter what they promote, doesn't matter how much that money they put into their product.
yeah,
Doesn't matter how much good or bad quality. If we're not putting money into their company as consumers, they're not going to thrive. They're absolutely not. So I think it's too quick to just put a lot of blame on businesses because at the end of the day, they're not successful without customers. They
right,
just aren't.
it's
You
yeah.
impossible.
got to vote with your wallet.
Right.
Man,
Hey,
I like
that's a
it.
good one.
Yeah,
Vote with
vote with
your
your
wallet.
wallet.
Vote with your wallet. All right, we coming up with some good slogans here,
Quote of the day: Vote with your wallet.
man. Vote with your wallet.
Like
What business do you support? Again, sellout doesn't have to have a negative connotation because you can be a sellout just based on the fact I'd never let a nigga talk to me sideways, but your white boss just did, and you didn't battle lash.
oh man, that's a good point. A
Hey,
good
people call you Uncle Tom for that.
man. What?
I say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, because that's how I was raised.
Yeah.
And so everywhere I go, like when I was up north where it wasn't racist, when I say yes, sir, yes, ma'am, they be like,
They
you know
look
what I'm saying?
crazy.
Like,
Yeah, they're like,
yeah, I had to apologize for saying I was like, when I'm at work, I just say that. You know what I'm saying? And
like
then
just like
even
a
when,
habit.
yeah, and when I'm talking to anybody older than me, I say that. It's a
Right.
part of who I am. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir growing up. So
Yeah.
Even then, though, I think that's an interesting nuance because that situation right there is like, okay, your personal relationships, y'all have strong connection, morals and stuff that y'all have with each other.
Yes, it
But
is.
your white boss is over there, yeah, but he give me a paycheck, so
Right.
right.
I got bills. You know what I'm saying? I got bills. But
yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
Right.
Your feelings ain't
Yeah,
gonna
that's
pay
what
my
he
bills.
said. Are you a sellout or are you trying to maintain a job so you can keep food on the table?
Exactly.
Right.
Good point.
He says, here's another one. I never compromise my integrity, but you have an OnlyFans showing your butt and hair, your butt hair for 20K a month.
Oh,
Uh,
that's a whole
That's
conversation
it,
in
man.
itself. Ooh,
Back to everybody price, man. Price
yeah.
and breaking
right,
point. Man.
right.
Everybody got one, man.
Your principles aren't absolute; they're just guides.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
I think this. Oh, I can't say the real name. Let me see. Based on what you said earlier about what being a sellout is, I think you are branded as a sellout, and it's more or less someone telling you what I think you should stand on. You didn't. You sacrificed my outlook on you for faster gains, and I think you are a sellout because of that. To say that OnlyFans model is sacrificing their integrity is based on your view of integrity, is it not? Unless I just don't know what integrity means. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
If this
100%
girl
true.
don't if this girl don't feel like she's doing nothing, like
She's not selling
she's
out.
not really selling out. If she don't feel like she's doing nothing,
Now, if she
I can't
is
say that to
ashamed
her.
of her OnlyFans, is
Yeah,
that selling out? It's based on her morals and beliefs, not yours. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
See, when we started to have these conversations, shit started to get fair.
Yeah. Get real
People
fair.
can't handle
Like,
that.
you got to break it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, I said, perspective. I think you think I'm going against. I'm saying, why is she considered a sellout over being an opportunist? Right. I think what he's saying is that people base opinions like who's a sellout based on their principles, but their principles are arbitrary most of the time and change with the situation. In fact, they do with most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So assuming an artist is somehow different just because you think they should be is, well, I think a sellout can be an opportunist, but I don't think an opportunist necessarily has to be a sellout. Okay,
I
I
can see
think we
that.
can off of it. Yeah, I can see that too. Most things are nuanced, which is probably why law or justice system is so flawed because people always want a line to draw, excuse me, want a line or to draw a line, but sometimes that line isn't always fair. Though I think that's getting off topic and everyone's moral compass is different. That's right.
There you go.
When you stand on business, oh, this is another response to what does selling out mean to you? When you stand on business until something else is a better business, then you stand on that. Example, I just don't rock like that over and over explaining the type of person you are and how you built. Then boom, suddenly with no explanation, you aren't that anymore. Or you are even against that. But see, that go back to what we said earlier. That could just be growth.
That's growth. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna do the same stuff my whole life. I
I
don't want
think
to I don't want to sell drugs for 10, 15 years.
right.
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
black people we hold each other to certain things so long, and we get
Right.
so ready to use something against each other. Like, let's say I say, "Oh man, you should eat cabbage. Kale ain't good for you. It's gonna give you kidney stones." And then 20 years later, it's like, yeah, bro, all I eat is kale, bro. I make smoothies just straight kale. It was like, bro, I thought you said cabbage. It was like, oh, well, I learned that it got vitamin K in it, and that's really what I need. And this, like, man, this is hell. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
like you can't make up
Actually,
your
that
mind,
is
bro.
kind of happening in the fat acceptance community right now. Like a lot of people that were fat, advocates or whatever, they're starting to change their ways and starting to lose weight instead. And when I've seen a few times that that's happened now recently, they have been deemed sellouts because of it,
Yeah,
because
that's
yeah,
they
that's
because
just
they
because
like
they want to
decided,
somebody
live.
trying to get in shape, or that's like
yeah,
somebody trying to get in shape. It's the same thing.
they
Like,
they
Because
they
they
get
want to
all this
live.
attention from guys who just trying to have fun, and they think they can get any man they want to marry them. Like, no,
exactly,
I
bro.
don't work
You
like
trying
that.
to talk
You
faster.
just a
You trying
number.
to talk faster. We had less than a minute.
Yeah.
We can't talk super fast.
The Power Exchange.
I think they